I think that Joe Thuney is going to be one of the biggest losses that a team experiences with the Patriots because he goes to a rival in the Chiefs for $80 million on 5 years. Whoever is running that Chiefs cap situation, by the way, deserves a Moneyball spinoff for that management. He wasn't that young kid who Vince picked as the chosen one. He was this Scottish warrior who looked like he was fresh out of a Braveheart remake. And he had every crowd electrified in every arena.
Hobie Baker may have played for Princeton, but this season it looks like his namesake award may be staying with a litter of Bobcats.
I don't think they can go wrong with Edge at this Mania. As you said, with his big comeback, the fans are going to be electric. I'm so happy that WrestleMania is going to have some live fans in Tampa this year because I couldn't imagine him coming out without that pop. I think right now it's Nikola Jokic for MVP. He's putting up 27, 11, and 8.5 from the center position, shooting 56% with 41% from three. Those are Steph Curry numbers, let alone a center's numbers. And it definitely helps Brady's legacy. If you want to say that maybe Patriots fans now give him more credit than Belichick, sure, but I don't think that hurts Belichick's legacy at all.
Thank you for watching QNN Podcast Radio. I'm your host, Matt Petry, and my guest for today is the one and only host of the Hard Charging Podcast. He's NASCAR expert Mike Buckman. Mike, we're going to get right into it. We had the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 this weekend. It was a pretty exciting race at the end, but we'll get into some of the issues because right away there's been some changes when we go to these intermediate tracks with some reduced horsepower, and it did seem to kind of affect the race early on. What more can you say about that?
Yeah, Matt, well, I think you hit the nail right on it right there with the 550 horsepower. You know, the start of the 2021 season this year has been so unorthodox.
It has been excellent to start this year, and two drivers who were extremely excellent during this race were Kyle Larson and Blaney. And Larson seemed to have it won for most of the race, but he ended up being caught by Blaney right at the end. Who were some of the other drivers, including those two, who impressed you during this race?
Yeah, Matt, well, Kyle Larson was the first one. I mean, led a race high, I believe, 260 some odd laps. He was up front all day. And it just, something with that car just seemed to fall off right there at the end.
You know, we've mentioned some names who are, funnily enough, at the top of the NASCAR leaderboard, whether it be Kyle Larson, who's in second, taking over Jimmy Johnson's old crew. I'll let you talk a bit more about that. I know you love your Jimmy Johnson, have some words to say about that. Have Denny Hamlin at the top of the leaderboard. It's a tight contender series. Who do you see making a deep run to the playoffs and why?
Well, I got to be honest, Matt. I got to talk about Kyle Larson for a minute because right now, you know, I'm one with this playoff format. I'm not one to say that someone's a championship contender just 6 races in.
Willie B and Kyle Larson bringing Hendrick Motorsports back into the spotlight. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. That's all we have time for today. You can check him out on the Hard Charging Podcast. Where can they find you there? Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Petry Power Hour. I'm your host today, Matt Petry, and I'm welcoming in my guest for the day. It's the men's lead basketball beat reporter for Quinnipiac, Kevin Higgins. Kevin, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me, Matt. I'm excited to get started.
Of course, and you know exactly what we're going to be talking about today. It's the Quinnipiac Bobcats men's basketball team, and it's been an interesting season for them. Right now, with 8 games left, they're sitting at the bottom of the MAC. What have your takeaways been for this season?
Well, right in the past few years, Quinnipiac basketball had been really high-powered offense.
Absolutely, and it's been hard to see, but do you believe that they can pick it back up? Do you believe they can still save their season?
Look, it's the MAC. That's the beauty of a mid-major conference like the MAC. It doesn't matter whether they don't win another game for the rest of the regular season. All that matters is that they have a good week in Atlantic City. But as I said, they just need to put it together for a good 4 games, and they have the potential to do that.
Before I let you go, who would you say is going to be the key to sparking that kind of run? Who's been impressive to you this season?
Yeah, so I want to see Savion Lewis get more involved offensively. As I mentioned, former New York Mr. Basketball.
It'll definitely be exciting for Bobcats to see if Savion Lewis and the rest of the team can pick it up come playoff time. Kevin, thank you so much for joining me. That's all we have time for the Petry Power Hour. Stay safe, everyone, and see you next time.
We start with college basketball, where teams across the nation competed in conference championships games, all for the chance to enter the dance as we approach March Madness. And Jake, our first matchup was a good one. We have number 1 Gonzaga against BYU in the West Coast Conference Championship. Gonzaga's looking to stay undefeated in this one as we jump early into the second half. We have Corey Kispert waiting in the corner. He's going to catch this 3 and cash that. Zags down 7. We're going to go less than a minute later. Kispert again, this time top of the key. Bang! Cashes another 3, down 6 now. Next possession, you don't have deja vu. It's Kispert once more. 9 points to start the half. Zags only down 3. Under 8 minutes to play, this time Jalen Suggs is getting the three-point parade. Zags now down 4. And just a minute later, Suggs throws an outlet pass, and they will take a 1-point lead as they hit that layup. Now we have 5 minutes left. BYU is down 3. Trevin Cannell is going to hit that open 3 in transition. He's going to keep them battling, but with 4 minutes left, game tied, Suggs drives to the rim and finds a great layup. He'd be fouled, and he would make the free throw. Next possession, Suggs goes behind, hits this deep three-pointer, connects, Zags up 9. They would survive and continue to advance. They would win 88-78 to finish the season undefeated with a school record 30-game winning streak. We go right into number 7 Mercer taking on number 1 UNC Greensboro in the SoCon Championship. Game tied at 23. Leon Ayers makes the 3. Mercer up 3 points. First half expiring, UNC Greensboro down 1. Isaiah Miller hits the deep 2. UNC Greensboro is now up 1 at half. Going into the second half, UNC Greensboro up 1. Miller now explodes to the rim. Look at that flush. UNC Greensboro takes a slim lead. A few minutes later, Mercer down 1. They get the rim-grazing uncontested dunk from James Glisson to get a 1-point lead. Now 3 minutes left to play. Miller finds a cutter to take the lead. UNC Greensboro up 2, and UNC Greensboro would not give up that lead as they would win 69-61 and head to the NCAA tournament. Moving from March Madness to the NBA, fans were treated to a unique spectacle as the league pushed forward with All-Star Weekend, starting with the skills competition. Indiana Pacers big man Domantas Sabonis repped for the big boys across the league, showing off his tight handles and silky smooth jumper in the skills comp, outdueling Julius Randle and Luka Doncic before beating fellow big Nikola Vucevic in the final. Moving on to the three-point contest, Steph Curry reminded the world that he is the greatest shooter of all time by putting on a show this Sunday. Saving the best for last in both rounds, Steph Curry ended round 1 with a bang, putting up a 30 bomb, and then outdid himself in round 2, beating Mike Conley at the buzzer. The final challenge of the night was the fan favorite dunk contest, sporting a field sadly lacking any real fan favorite. Anthony Simmons will be a name that many remember, using a creative 12-foot slam and a tribute to the legendary Tracy McGrady to secure the dunk title.